Back to the NBA and to the playoffs, of course. We're going to be talking a lot of NBA playoffs over the next couple months. So, Philadelphia and New York. Man, what a game that was. Madison Square Garden. The celebrities are out. You saw all the familiar faces. You saw Spike Lee, Tracy Morgan, Strahan. You saw all the familiar faces at MSG. You saw the stars were out. Joel Embiid, Jalen Brunson, Maxey. Notable coaches. One Nick Nurse has a championship. One Tom Thibodeau has multiple playoff appearances on his resume. And the game is close throughout. Knicks pulled away late and won by a final score of 111-104. And I probably by this point sound like the anti-Joel Embiid guy, which is not true. I think Joel Embiid is an awesome, awesome player. Two-time scoring champion, one-time league MVP. I've just been one of the few to actually tell the truth on Embiid in the sense that he's kind of James Harden-esque in the playoffs where he goes from amazing in the regular season. I'm talking about prime Harden. Amazing in the regular season and just god-awful in the playoffs. Now, his lows aren't quite as low as Harden's lows where the guy just absolutely fell apart. But Embiid, it's like a slow, it's like death by 1,000 cuts, essentially. Your season essentially suffers death by 1,000 cuts. And in this game, first half, drops 18 points, is looking great. And then he gets injured. Well, Bryson, you can't hold the bad second half performance against him if he got injured. Okay, hang on a second. Wasn't Joel Embiid's knee in bad shape going into the game? Wasn't Joel Embiid laboring at the end of their play-in win against the Miami Heat? I did watch that game. It seemed like Joel Embiid didn't feel the greatest. Now, I imagine the re-aggravation didn't help matters. But that was the Sixers' opportunity to me to steal a road game at MSG. Like I picked Knicks in 6. It rhymes. It sounds good. And that's also, I think, the series is going to play out from a matchup perspective. That was the game to steal. It's kind of like the Lakers. The LeBron saw what was going on in the first half. Jamal wasn't playing well. He was playing great. AD was playing great. Man, I'm going to go for the jugular. Oh, crap. We're down. We're only up 3. That's, we're probably not winning this game. And they pulled back in the second half. In a similar sort of sense, Embiid came back, started the second half, ready to go. Evidently, he was healthy enough to play. Jalen Brunson, who I'm a huge fan of and have become a huge fan of over the last couple of seasons, what he's done in New York. I think he's an awesome leader. He's an efficient player. He's got a nice, floater in the mid-range. He can shoot the 3. He gets other guys involved and has been amazing, averaging like 31 points a game since Julius Randle went down. Like, the guy's been great. Jalen Brunson didn't play that well. Yes, he had 22 points with 7 assists, 7 rebounds, but 22 points on 26 shots, 1 of 6 from 3. You also look down the list. Dante DiVincenzo, 3 for 10. Josh Hart, 5 for 12. Now, credit to OG Anunoby. Efficient game and great defensively. And this kid McBride off the bench, Miles McBride, dropping 21 off the bench, 7 for 12 and 5 for 7 from 3. That was the game to steal. Brunson's inefficient. DiVincenzo isn't shooting well. Hart is a little off. You're at home. For the record, another reason that was the game to steal? Maxey may not play tonight. The game tips off in about an hour. I don't know if there's any updates on Tyrese Maxey. I don't see any on my phone right now, so we'll see. But Tyrese Maxey, there's a report from Chris Haynes that he's questionable tonight because he's, I think, feeling a little under the weather. So you may not have your second best player tonight. You're beat up. You were already beat up coming in. And Joel Embiid, it should be noted, scoreless in the fourth quarter. I believe he was 0 of 6 from the field, or not 0 of 6. No, he wasn't scoreless the first quarter. He didn't hit a field goal in the fourth quarter, but being the free throw merchant that he is, and let's be real, that's what he is in these playoff games, went 6 for 6 from the line to his credit. This is what you get from Joel Embiid. Oh, Bryce, he's hurt. He's hurt every playoffs. We have to start treating Joel Embiid or viewing him in a similar fashion that we do Kawhi Leonard. Although in Kawhi's defense, in his younger years, while he'd be beat up at the end of series, he was winning finals MVPs. And when he wasn't winning finals MVPs, he was going for 30, 40-point burgers in the 2017 playoffs, obviously 2019 playoffs, when the Raptors won the title. We've seen Kawhi be great. Kawhi's ability in the playoffs has never been under question. It's not like James Harden or Embiid where it's, man, we just don't trust him to show up. No, we trust Kawhi Leonard. We just don't trust him to be out there. That's the problem. Embiid's like a mix of Kawhi and Harden, and that's how we need to start viewing him. Like that to me, and I said this coming to the playoffs, no player has more pressure. You can argue Tatum, but Tatum, with all due respect, is not going. He may end up having a better career than Embiid just because of health, because of accomplishments. But right now, today, Embiid's a better player than Tatum. I think even Celtics fans would agree with that. Although if I had to start a franchise with one, I'd start with Tatum for a myriad of reasons, this being one of them, that I know Tatum's going to be there. No, Tatum's going to be reliable. No, Tatum's had some amazing playoff performances in do-or-die situations. I've never seen it from Embiid. Again, if I'm the only person in the world to say this, then I'll say it again. Joel Embiid is the only player in the history of the NBA to win Most Valuable Player and not go to the conference finals. We're not asking him to drag Philly on a bad leg or bad whatever in the last few years to a championship, which the Sixers haven't done since 1981. We're asking you simply, can he get to conference finals? I mean, Trae Young got to a conference finals, and by the way, did so by beating you on your home floor in 2021. Jimmy Butler's been how many? 3 times, 4 times to the conference finals? I think 3 times in Miami, including beating you in 2022. The Toronto Raptors have Toronto Raptors who are in free fall right now, or a disaster, total rebuild. They've been to a conference finals more recently than you. You know why? Because they beat you in Game 7. Yeah, Boston dead to rights in Game 6 a year ago. Dead to rights. Tatum was awful through 3 quarters. Had him on the ropes. At home, mind you. Tatum goes off in the 4th quarter and then drops a 50-burger on your head to send you home in Game 7, and you're awful in that game. Don't even record double-digit rebounds as a 7'2" big. And then last night, or Saturday night rather, we see it again. Not reliable, not efficient. Well, he's hurt. He's always hurt. And he was hurt coming into the game. Didn't seem to hinder him from scoring 18 and seemed to be healthy enough to come back in the game. Whenever LeBron's been hurt, oh, well, listen, he's still got to, if he's out there, we got to judge him by the similar standard. Let's do the same with Embiid then. He's an MVP player, right? We're not talking about like, no offense, but Kristaps Porzingis. We're a good player, really good player on the best roster in the league, but we're not going to hold Kristaps Porzingis to a standard. A guy who, by the way, has an injury history where we're like, can't trust him in the biggest moments. Not to love we can this guy, Joel Embiid. He's still great. If Joel Embiid's the second best player on a contending team, man, you are in great shape. It's the very reason that I said Philadelphia to me might be the most attractive destination for LeBron. He gets to go back to the weak East. Embiid's his number 2. Tyrese Maxey is your 3rd best player. Oh my gosh, Nick Nurse coaching. They've got the cap space due to a brilliant move by Daryl Morey to move James Harden to Los Angeles. More on Harden in just a second. You cannot and will not ever win a championship with get to a finals. As we say here today, get to a conference finals if Joel Embiid's your best player, because physically you can't rely on him, and therefore, because of his lack of physical reliability, you don't get the consistency in the postseason. Game 1 was a perfect representation of that. Now, Maxey may be out. If he is in, it will be hampered. Embiid's still hurt. Knicks, to me, feel like they'd go up 2-0 in this series. I think Philadelphia probably wins games 3 and 4. Philly's faced a lot of series. I remember when they played the Heat in 2022, they were down 2-0. Embiid was hurt. They won the next 2 at home, lost the next 2 to end the series. That feels a little bit like how the series will play out. But this is what I expected from Philadelphia. It's what I expected from Embiid. The pieces around him, Maxey's an excellent number 2. Tobias Harris, Kelly Oubre. Paul Reed's a good backup center, and Nick Nurse is a championship-winning head coach who's an upgrade over every coach you've had in your career, and you still couldn't get it done because you can't rely on you physically and just in general in the postseason. That's the reality of Joel Embiid, and we have to come to accept it. I know that's probably not the most popular thing to say in Philadelphia, although as much as I criticize Philadelphia sports and their fans get on my nerves, they're certainly realists, when it comes to their athletes not performing up to par. Philadelphia, Boston, New York, that sort of northeast area of the country that, tends to be maybe over harsh, but in some respects, it's like, hey, listen, they call it the way they see it. And I think Philadelphians might actually agree with me on this. I don't know. Thanks so much for watching the show on YouTube, and be sure to go click that big red subscribe button and check out the other clips and full shows from Carving It Up Live, as well as our other incredible content creators here on the Grid Network.